friends. And I think that's great support for someone like Dossary, who's quite quiet, quite methodical, to get Levinkin behind you, just to give you some energy as we jump in to this first game between these two.
Well, as we say, we've been entertained so far with our first couple of rounds of Swiss that we've had in the tournament. Hopefully, the entertainment factor will keep up to that high standard. It's going to be Nicholas Razek who will be attacking in the red, and it'll be Tundra's MsDossary who will be attacking in the black and yellow striped kit, and it's going to be R9 with the first opportunity really to get into that final third here for MsDossary. Beautiful ball down the line, and it's Roberto Carlos who actually tries to whip that one in, Dan. Something we've seen a few times today, but I'm surprised to see it not be too effective.
It's a conversation I was having with Nightwatch, actually, last event, saying sometimes when you're not able to break through your opponent's defense, why not just whip it in and go for that little bit of luck?
He tried to use that fake shot again there as R9 tried to just use his frame and the acceleration to get around the man and create room for that shot into the near post or across the goalkeeper. But I think it's a good point going back to the crossing. Yeah, it's not going to be, it's kind of not that first phase that's going to create the goal. It's kind of the second and third.
Well, you'll see it in Weekend League sometimes. I'm sure we've all played against that player who just constantly crosses it in, constantly puts that ball in the mixer, and eventually it pays off because they get the rub of the green. I'm not saying that that's how players should approach the game entirely, but if they've tried everything else.
What a great ball that is from Dossary, though, and it's Neymar. Van Dijk is labouring to keep up with him, and very un-Dossary-like there. Looked like a little bit of indecision from the Saudi Arabian.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether he just tried to cut that one across goal or whether it was struggling with Neymar going forward and maybe he just didn't get the shot away. But either way, very lackluster in front of goal. But it's a warning sign for Nicholas Razek not to allow Dossary to be able to play those comfortable and easy through balls.
Yeah, maybe it was just a little bit of a failed fake shot, potentially. Looking to cut that one inside or get around the man just to create a little bit more space. But Dossary is going to be coming forward here and is in behind the fullback. There is an accelerated fake shot to try and get away from the attentions of the defender. But all defended here by Nicholas Razek, but it has been Dossary. He's been the more aggressive in that final third so far. Let's see Eusebio. Bit of space, plenty of men behind the ball here for Dossary. And this is what you can expect from Nicholas Razek, much more measured in his attack and the way that he likes to move forward. And Eusebio now into R9. There's that fake shot, but well read by Carlos Alberto, and Dossary wins the ball back.
So Dossary has always credited himself as being one of the best at playing the offside trap as well. Not necessarily at trying to play players offside with the offside trap, but the way he'll step up and he'll pressure and he'll be able to dive in with a tackle. But he hasn't been able to do so this game. Nicholas Razek has kind of been pushing in the right areas to where he's almost negated the fact that that offside trap is there for MsDossary. And the pressure has been very much coming from Razek instead of Dossary.
Yeah, a little bit of a change in the flow of this game. A couple of loose passes here from Dossary means that Nicholas Razek can come forward. Space here, Eusebio. That space just disappears as quickly as it appeared in front of him, though. Well defended by Dossary. Now he needs to start linking up these passes. And I want to see what formation Dossary's using as well, because we saw that 4-1-2-1-2 narrow with a pretty aggressive midfield quartet, including that central cam, of course. It looks like it might be a similar pattern of play here, formation-wise, at least for Dossary.
Yeah, seeing Zidane drop back quite a lot there as soon as the ball was lost, it would suggest that maybe he is going to be that central defensive midfielder, the lone central defensive midfielder. But I would imagine that Dossary will have the ability to transition between both that narrow formation and the 4-2-3-1, which is your go-to formation for so many of these players. But he's offering so much space out on these wings for Nicholas Razek, and Nicholas is starting to take an advantage of this now, but it's whether he can play it inside and get that space outside the box.
Well, here comes the German then. As I say, just beat Tex on penalties, so he's going to be high on confidence. The question is, can he put back-to-back wins together against two of the best players in the world? He strikes the post. First real warning shot there from Nicholas Razek, and it was almost a shot that gave him the lead.
So close yet so far. When you're going up against a player like Dossary, you have to take these chances, and you've got to be careful in those areas as well. Dossary's starting to press a little bit more in his opposition box. I think both of these players really want to get that first goal, because we know how important it can be in FIFA 20 to take a lead, especially when you know that your opposition plays a slow, methodical game and they do have that ability to play the ball around and frustrate you. I imagine that's exactly what we would see from the likes of Dossary if he is able to take the lead here.
Well, Nicholas Razek slowly building up. Goes all the way back to his centre-back here, just trying to pull those two Players out of position, just maybe find a little space as he moves the ball forward. Well defended though by Dossary. Cut those passing lanes incredibly effectively there with the central midfielders, not leaving any space for Nicolas Razek to get in behind.
Maybe it's not the high-scoring game that we saw originally between Stokes and Houston, and I wouldn't say that is down to these players not being good attacking. It's more down to the fact that they're just defending very well. For example, making sure Hullet's in the right place at the right time. I know he does a lot of it himself. Hullet is one of the best players you can have, if not the best player you can have on your team, but there's still an element of actually switching to him, putting him to make sure he cuts the passing lane, then switching off him, switching back to him, stepping in at the right areas. Is one thing that both players at the moment are doing very successfully.
Just that one chance, really, for Nicolas Razek. Has threatened the deadlock being broken here, and Nicolas Razek coming forward again now. Eusebio, beautiful ball into Pele. Eusebio's going to collect it back off of the Brazilian icon, and now Hullet will go across to Vieira. Something brewing here for Nicolas Razek, and maybe that little step over will create enough space for the shot. It did, but again, the attentions of Dossary close enough to that strike to allow it to be a clear strike at goal.
Has to go forward. Will have a chance as long as he doesn't turn away at all. Blanc though, big old challenge. Dossary not happy with it. 45 minutes gone, still without a goal, both of these players. Actually, no shots on the one side, but there has actually been chances, as you alluded to in the prior match, that even though sometimes it doesn't say there's been any shots, sometimes you get in those areas, sometimes the keeper will just swipe that ball away from your feet. But the possession is something we can look at. Only 38% at the moment for MS Dossary.
Yeah, Nicolas Razek certainly keeping hold and value in the possession of the football. And it was Dossary again with that 4-1-2-1-2, which certainly going to be keeping an eye on as we go through this tournament. Not the most defensively minded midfield that you could possibly have available to you on the esports accounts. No Vieira in that central defensive midfield position. The tackle there from Johan Cruyff to win the ball back here for Dossary, and winning it in those high areas, especially against a player who likes to play a possession game. It's something that could frustrate Nicolas Razek.
Yeah, Vieira's taken a little bit of a hit this year. We've been saying for a couple of years now, who's going to shake up that meta, who's going to stop this Vieira-Hullet partnership. It still exists, but Zidane has made a little bit of a difference, and I'm sure as team of the year, team of the season come in as the global series goes on, we will see more players just jumping into that midfield spot.
Well, again, Dossary manages to win the ball back pretty high up the pitch there, not letting Nicolas Razek settle as Neymar tries to take on Van Dijk. Well defended, though, by the Liverpool centre-back. And again, Dossary wins the ball back, and you have to say, a little bit sloppy in possession here, Nicolas Razek, and you can't afford to do that against Dossary, because at some point it'll make you pay.
Well, considering the first half, Razek had such good amount of possession, he wasn't giving the ball away. I wonder whether it's something changed from Dossary's side, where he has started to pressure a little bit more. As now Razek forced to actually go for some lofted balls just to keep possession. And again, he's forced to do so, and the mistake is because Dossary was pressuring.
And one thing that Dossary is known for is recognising how his opponent is playing and adapting his game to get that advantage. It wouldn't be surprising at all to see if he's recognised that Nicolas Razek trying to play that possession game. He's going to try and not let him settle, and here comes Dossary again, just can't get through the man mountain that is Virgil van Dijk at the moment. You have to say, Nicolas Razek defending well, considering the mistakes he's made actually giving possession away.
Yeah, even though Razek has made a couple of mistakes going forward, he hasn't really made defensive mistakes. Dossary is almost dribbling towards him, hoping for a lunge in, hoping for a mistimed tackle, and then he will take advantage of it. It's one of the things that Dossary's always been amazing at, is taking advantage of people's mistakes. But Nicolas Razek has not offered anything like that as of yet.
Here comes Nicolas Razek. Beautiful ball in. What a goal that is! Almost out of nowhere. It's been all Dossary in the second half so far, but just so simple. Just a ball inside. R9 finds Eusebio, and he just had too much space. Dossary not managing to get a centre-back close enough to Eusebio, and well, when you know that he gets it onto that right foot, from that range, it's very rare that he'll miss the target.
It's about being reactive when you are a pro player and about recognising the situation that you've been put in. He saw that Eusebio was about to get the ball. He saw there was the tiniest of gaps, but he had to shoot straight away. If he had taken any sort of touch, Dossary's defenders were going to be on him so quickly. So Razek recognising that, getting the shot away. It was a decent finish as well. That's what Eusebio can offer if he is in your squad. And now that he has a goal lead and he has had a lot of possession in this game, I wonder whether he can build from this.
So Nicolas Razek with a very deep line, you can see it here, but Roberto Carlos on the overlap maybe is going to create that outlet, but Carlos Alberto will win the ball back off of the Brazilian and potentially start an attack here for Razek, but again, a little misplaced pass is going to present possession back to the Saudi Arabian, and Dossary needs to make something of this. To say, possession-wise, completely dominated this second half, but not many chances to write home about, and again, he just seems a little bit devoid of ideas in that final third at the moment.
Exactly what I was thinking, really. Just running out of steam as he starts to get towards goal, and he just needs to get a little bit more creative. But I think one thing Dossary always has is that element of surprise when an opponent will think they've got the better of him, and then suddenly he says, all right, okay, I'm going to switch it up a gear now. And he comes out and he presses.
Well, here's Pele, and he manages to step away from the tackle. There was a little lunge, and R9 strikes the post, but the linesman's flag had gone up just before the Brazilian had managed to get his strike away. But another warning sign there for Dossary. And Nicolas Razek's playing a very tactical game here, and it's been pretty effective for him so far.
Substitutions for Dossary. He had previously brought on Eusebio, but it looks like Garrincha's going to be coming on as well. If he is playing that 4-1-2-1-2 now, he's going to be playing Mbappe and Garrincha up front with Eusebio behind. Pele in midfield. I mean, you were talking about a very attacking midfield. That's insane.
I think the fact that Zinedine Zidane is the central defensive midfielder says everything you need to know about how Dossary wants to approach this game. He wants to get bodies forward. He wants to create chances, but
Garrincha up front is the biggest surprise for me. But I mean, Tex was one of the biggest advocates for him last event. Was playing him out on the right instead of the likes of Messi. It worked out for him. He went and lifted the trophy. And I'm sure that Garrincha's price rose very much after that event.
Well, here comes Dossary. Again, Virgil van Dijk with a strong challenge to win the ball back. He's really done a job in that centre-back position for Nicolas Razek. And a little bit of frustration there from Dossary. He made that tackle, just seeing the ball fall back off his player and take that little ricochet to give possession back to Nicolas Razek. The Saudi Arabian needs to find a little bit of magic in that final third. A second goal here for Nicolas Razek, and he's going to feel very, very comfortable heading into this second leg. You can see slow, deliberate build-up again from the German. Looking for any space that's going to be offered here by Dossary. None forthcoming, though. Now Dossary needs to make this attack count.
Yeah, Dossary hasn't really done enough to scare Nicolas Razek to even be thinking or panicking about giving the ball away. And maybe that's why we've seen a couple of rush passes from Razek, because he's saying, look, I can go for these risky balls, because actually giving them away, Dossary hasn't created enough for me to be scared of. That's another misplaced pass from Dossary. And with only 8 minutes left, I can't really see Dossary equalising in this first leg. But there is another 90 minutes. Dossary is one of the best in the world at adapting, and I'm sure he'll have a look at everything going into leg number 2. There's another mistake from Razek, though. Can we see anything from Dossary? No.
Tries to play that ball over the top, and as you say, no, nothing forthcoming from that attack.
And as a reminder, this is a game for 3-0 in Swiss as well, so the winner will guarantee themselves through to the knockout stages. The loser will still have to play 2 more, well, both are going to still have to play more games, but they're going to still need to find 1 more win if they want to get themselves through to the knockout stages as well.
I think Nicolas Razek's going to be very, very pleased with how this first leg has gone. Considering the amount of times he's actually given the ball away as well with a few risky passes, the fact that he's limited Dossary to so few chances across the 90 minutes really does play into the Germans' hands.
One of the downsides about being one of the best in the world and to have won trophies and to be kind of idolized by a community is it means they can scrutinize your gameplay as well, and they can pick and choose what they want to watch, and they can learn how you play, and they often come into games with a game plan. Razek's had a game plan coming into this game, and it's been effective. He's completely cut out any of Dossary's real chances, and it's been a very frustrating time for Dossary. It's the same if you're Tex. People are going to know how you play, and they're going to try and play a game against you. It's not just you can approach this as a game of FIFA. You have to approach it differently and say, look, what can I change in my game so I'm less predictable? And that's what Dossary is going to have to do going into this second leg.
You can see Dossary having a conversation with Levink and then his coach next to him just saying, what can I do? What can I do differently? Because, as I say, it's so surprising to see Dossary struggling in that final third. Usually that's when we'll see that little injection of pace, those little quick 1-2 passes, and his ability to find a player inside the box to get a strike away, but it just didn't seem to be happening for him there. I think credit to Nicklas Razek, the way that he defended, the way that he was almost allowing the pressure to come to him before he was making those tackles. Kind of just perfect defensive play from Razek.
Yeah, I mean, we saw the statistics at half-time, and Dasari hadn't had a shot. He had a couple of times he got into the box. Not sure he had much shots in the second half as well. I think statistically, Razek dominated it, but he's only a goal up.
Yeah.
And a goal is not enough against anyone, let alone against MS Dasari. So I think Razek can look at that and say, look, okay, this is a great platform for me to build off, but I still need to be aggressive. I still need to get that second goal. As soon as he's got 2 goals, I think this is probably over.
I think if he would have got a second goal, I think he would have had the perfect game plan in that first one. If he would have put one of those the other chances that he had away. 2-0, the way that he played and the way that he limited Dasari, I think Dasari is forced into changes in this second leg, whether that's formation-wise, whether that's custom tactic-wise, whether it's personnel-wise. He's going to obviously have to change the game. But the way that game was going, I think we're going to see a very similar first 45 minutes for sure between the two. Razek's going to be happy. I think Dasari's going to be happy with the possession he had. Just that chance creation lacking.
Yeah, he had more possession in that second half. I think the formation's not really working out for him. The 4-1-2-1-2 narrow. I don't know whether he switched to it in the second half to try and get more aggressive, but I would rather see him play more of a wide formation. I think it suits him better. He's played 4-2-3-1 for so long, and the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow at the moment just seems to be cut out by the way that Razek's playing. And I'm sure that we will see those changes from Dasari. If I'm thinking it, you know full well he's definitely thinking it as well.
Yeah, and obviously just to remind you all as well, there's loads of other games going on. You can check them all out at watchfifaglobalseries.com. Every single player has their stream available, so you can miss nothing, basically, of this tournament. You can watch all your favourite players
it's a lot
at
of
any
tabs.
point.
A lot of tabs,
a lot of tabs to be open. Hopefully you've got enough monitors to keep all of the games on, but we're going to keep focusing on this game that we have in front of us at the moment. We'll have a look at the moment at MS Dasari.
64 tabs. What do you need? No, you need 32.
Every game is really small.
Every game, yeah, if you make it small enough, if you've got enough monitors, like 3 monitors is maybe... I wouldn't say that's standard, really, is it? Standard's probably 1 monitor for most people.
I was going to say.
No, not everyone has 3 monitors.
Not everyone's Dan Gaskin, but here is the website. This is what we're talking to you about is watchfifaglobalseries.com. You can watch all of the games. You can see all the games we've got going on at the moment, all the different streams. Of course, MS Dasari versus Nicklas Razek at the top there, but see Graverton versus Lost in the Waves. We've got loads of games going on at the moment. I love keeping an eye on Lost in the Waves scorelines, by the way. Every time we see him, it's like 12 goals, 11 goals, probably conceding just about as many as well.
I'd love to see Lost in the Waves get into knockouts. I'm going to be completely honest. He didn't get as far as he would have liked in the last tournament, and I'd love to see what he can offer against some of the best in the world with how he attacks. Anyway, we can refocus onto Dasari versus Razek again, and it is going to be Razek in the black kit attacking from left to right.
He gets a little bit fortunate there to actually have that ball break to him inside the box, but again, Dasari manages to defend well. And just looking at the formation here, I wonder if it's a 4-4-2 potentially now from Dasari that we are seeing. So maybe looking to get a little bit more width in the game, like you were saying, Dan, as he plays that ball out wide to Neymar. It does look those 2 men up top, and Zidane as one of those midfield 2 alongside Ruud Gullit. So a tactical change here from MS Dasari, and I like that. Early on in the game, trying to change things up and take the game here to Nicklas Razek.
Well, his starting formation is definitely a 4-4-2. I'm just wondering whether it will change as we go on, but it looks like he definitely prefers to have the 2 men up front. And we get a lot of people like that in FIFA 20, being able to play that kind of ping-pong pass, the quick 1-2, get that through ball possibility. But the trouble is it's been cut out so often by Nicklas Razek that he needs to offer more with that width. So hopefully now, if he is playing that 4-4-2, these wingers can get up, get involved, as well as the fullbacks, and he's going to have far more options, and he isn't going to be as limited when he goes forward.
Yeah, he can just stretch the defence of Nicklas Razek from side to side. It's going to help him out for sure, and almost managed to get that ball back to Neymar. Again, though, Nicklas Razek has not put a foot wrong so far in this game. As long as he keeps those levels of concentration high, which is something we talk about so much in FIFA at this incredibly high level with some of the best in the world. Can't afford to make a mistake, because one mistake and Dasari's back into this. But a second goal here for Nicklas Razek. And you really do feel like he could be the player who's going into those knockout rounds first here, as Gullit and Vieira are going to exchange passes. And again, just maybe looking for that ball, maybe just a little bit telegraphed there. And Dasari again showing that he's defending well as well.
And you feel like if Nicklas Razek can win a tournament and he can start striking that fear into everyone, he is going to be such a strong force. Because I already feel like players like Dasari, players like Tex, they fear him because they've gone up against him and they've been beaten by him in some of these high-pressure tournaments. But other players maybe look at him and go, oh, well, it's Nicklas Razek. He hasn't won a tournament in a while. I think I've got a good chance. If he can start winning tournaments, he is going to be so terrifying to go up against.
Well, look at this spacing behind here for Johan Cruyff as well. And Dossary is going to be forced to commit men forward here. It's chances. Can Nicklas Razek find an opportunity? The ball falls to Ruud Gullit. Doesn't really test the goalkeeper there as Yashin was out of net. Maybe got a little bit trigger happy there with Ruud Gullit, having seen the goalkeeper not quite on his line. Pele gets the ball wide there, and Johan Cruyff is going to get inside the box here, and Dossary, having had a scare at one end, tries to strike it with Roberto Carlos, and I don't hate that idea. A little bit of the unexpected from Dossary.
I mean, I'm still disappointed that Gullit didn't put his laces through that and absolutely smash it. When you see a midfielder running into the box like that with that much space, the goalkeeper's off his line, you don't go for a little dinky finesse. It just, lackluster. Need to do better in those scenarios. But again, for Dossary, yeah, when you've got Roberto Carlos in that position, usually people wouldn't shoot, but he thought, you know what? Roberto Carlos has a fantastic left foot. If I can roll it onto that left foot and get a shot away, decent chance of scoring here. Both players now starting to get into those dangerous areas. And we're going to start to see, I think, a little bit more open FIFA in this game, because Dossary is naturally going to be attacking a lot more, trying to get this equaliser.
Well, beautiful scoop turn there from Johan Cruyff. Big chance here! Chance taken! Dossary has been knocking on the door. He's struggled to create clear-cut chances so far in this game. The first one he does, though, Dossary puts it in the back of the net. And now we're tied up at 1-1.
First clear-cut chance in general throughout this entire series, completely right. There was a slight little bit of goalkeeper movement to the opposite way from Nicklas Razek to the left. And that just opened it up for Dossary to have a clean finish to that top left-hand corner. First real chance that maybe you could argue Nicklas Razek was a little bit lazy defensively, just wasn't able to keep up with the passing from Dossary. And just like that, for all of Nicklas Razek's hard work, for all of his game plan in that first leg, it all comes to nothing now, and they're tied up 1-1. Game on.
Well, I think it's the formation that has created that opportunity for Dossary as well. You were talking about how a little bit of width might just stretch those defenders, stretch those centre-backs. If you can beat a fullback, a centre-back has to come across to cover that space and then leaves that space to attack. And that was where Dossary created that chance. And now Dossary, all of a sudden, seems to have come to life here in this game. And here's Ruud Gullit with a chance to strike, but guess who's there? It's Ruud Gullit doing the defensive work against Ruud Gullit, who was trying to get that strike on goal.
Sometimes it's like just looking in the mirror when you see Gullit there, and here you are in those situations where you just know you're not going to be able to get past him. You want to desperately play that ball to the next man who's waiting alongside you, but it's so difficult. Those outstretched legs are just too long, too strong. But definitely looking a lot better now, Dossary. Just needs to keep his eye on the ball, not let any of his focus drop, because if he focuses too much on going forward, he might slip up defensively.
Well, here comes Nicklas Razek, and he's managed to work his way inside the box! And Dossary stood off of him there, and Eusebio did not need asking twice. Nicklas Razek has taken the lead, and what a finish that was from Eusebio.
I don't know if necessarily Dossary prioritised Cruyff, who was darting through into the middle, and he was just desperate to try and cover it. They didn't block the shot from Eusebio. Either way, though, great stuff from Nicklas Razek. Again, not going for that predictable pass, just taking that extra second, recognising the game, thinking, all right, what's he expecting me to do? Where would I go in this situation? Oh, Cruyff's running through. No, let's just dribble it a little bit to the left. Eusebio can bang this one in, and he's got the lead again.
Great job there from Nicklas Razek to keep his composure in that situation and create that chance. It's so easy to rush, especially having just gone down as well, Dan.
Yep.
He now has the lead once again, and now he can go back to plan 8. About to hit that half-time whistle here, but one man who's hitting his stride is Pele, just attacking this left-hand side. Should be a chance for one more attack, and somehow that ball finds Eusebio. Well, it has to make a tackle. And there is the half-time whistle, so we're pretty much where we were when we started this second leg. Nicklas Razek has a goal advantage. And Dossary, again, is the man behind.
Dossary's been so much better this second half, though. Like, this second leg, should I say, at going forward. I mean, if you analysed it and you slowed it down defensively, Dasari probably made the right decision of covering the Cruyff pass. But can you cover the Cruyff pass as well as maybe move the goalkeeper? There's all of these very minor things that potentially could have been different. It's so easy when you're looking back on it, but in the moment are so difficult to actually pull off. As Nicholas Razek getting closer and closer to being 3-0. As I'm being told in my ear that Fnatic's Tex is currently losing in his second leg. And if he were to lose that, he would find himself at 1-2 in Swiss.
So we had upsets in our first FUT champion, stage 1! But Dasari doesn't want to be the name that's upset again here at stage 2. Zinedine Zidane finds space, and the left foot strike across the goalkeeper means we are tied up again. And now you've seen those changes again. Dasari just adapting the tactics of those two central defensive midfielders, maybe telling them to stay back again, going back to plan A. And this has been a real tactical battle between these two players, and you can see the reaction of Nicholas Razek there, a little bit disappointed to so quickly after the restart here in the second half to concede and find himself back on level terms.
And it's actually Sammy that Tex is losing to. As I was just looking into it, he's losing 1-0 at the moment, or he was losing 1-0. It's 2-0 actually, I'm being told. And Sammy is a player who beat Lyrics in round 1. He lost to Dolan Mike on penalties in round 2, and now he's playing like, if you think about those three players you have to face up against, he's doing incredible, and I tell you what, I'm interested to see what he does for the rest of this tournament, but we can get back to focusing on this one. Again, Dasari out of nowhere, Nicholas Razek kind of controlling the game, and it's just that one pass that's enough just to throw Razek's defense off.
So back to all square then. The interesting thing for me, like, as far as mentality is concerned in this game, is neither player has managed to really eke out that 2-goal lead. It's been 1 goal, it's been an equaliser. 1 goal, equaliser. A 2-goal lead in this game, you feel like might be the deciding factor in it. If someone can just take that risk, look for that second goal, maybe that's going to be enough to close the game out. And it's Nicholas Razek now who's going to be coming forward again. Having just conceded a goal himself, Eusebio tries to turn back inside. Ruud Gullit in with a good tackle.
Great tackle, really, but you should expect it from Gullit by this point. Plenty of time for both of these players, though, so they don't have to rush their attacks. I think that's what you've got to be careful of. I know you're desperate to get the ball up to the other side of the pitch to try and get that man advantage. It's very hard to do so in FIFA 20. Very rarely are you going to have a man advantage unless it's a real pressuring counter-attack, like from a corner or something when you win the ball. Here comes Dasari again, just trying to utilise drag-backs as he is going to win a free kick. Not in a particularly dangerous area, though, so I'd imagine you'd just lay it off.
We can see another pause coming in here, and it looks like Dasari is going to be the player who is making changes again. Fresh legs, Eusebio up top. Looking at the bench here, a lot of options, of course. Garrincha was someone that he brought on last time. This time it's going to be Kylian Mbappe, in form from PSG. Up top, so lots of pace, of course.
You can see in the bottom of your screen as well, Joksan versus Peanut. It's a 2-0 lead for Joksan, and I'm fairly certain that's an elimination game as well, because they were both 0-2. As Joksan, who at the start of FIFA 19 had an incredible season.
Free kick here then for Dasari. Takes it short. Opportunity with so many men forward to maybe find an extra pass to find a little bit of space, but it looks like he's going to play this one smartly. Allow his defence to refocus and get back into shape before going forward. Smart stuff there from Dasari to make sure that if things didn't quite go his way there, that he wasn't going to be vulnerable on the counter-attack. Dasari again with a chance. Ooh, and you could see the overlapping run there from Neymar. Just couldn't find him.
It's always going to be these really tight margins that can make or break a game. I would say that it's not going to make or break their Swiss phase, though I would imagine both of these players should be able to get that one victory more, even if they do lose here. But if you can go the whole Swiss phase unbeaten, it's more likely you will face a competitor who hasn't had as good a Swiss run, so you could argue they're not in form and argue they're not as good of a player as you could face if you do just go 3-2. But we know it doesn't really work like that.
So Nicolas Razek, 68 minutes on the clock, has the chance to come forward. Great ball, Lionel Messi! Left foot, oh, fortune favours him in the biggest possible way. Defender gets a block. It falls into the centre of the box, and who is waiting there with an open net? R9 Ronaldo, the simplest goal that he'll ever score.
It's one of those ones where you claim to your mates it was entirely intended. You was like, yeah, I meant to do that. I knew his defender would block it and that my R9 would be waiting to bang it in. It's a tough one for Dossary to take. You saw the little shake of the head.
Saw the shake of the head from Nicolas Razek as well.
Again, it's one of those things where he's taken the risk to go for a shot. It was a decent opportunity. Messi on his left foot as well. And he's given himself that potential for a rebound possibility. Some people wouldn't have shot there because they felt like the percentage chances weren't there and they would rather go for a drag back run and rather get a cleaner shot on goal. But yeah, it's just one of those ones where it's happened, it's unlucky for Dossary, and he has to go again. He's got 20 minutes to try and get back into this.
Yeah, it'd be a shame if that's the goal to decide what has been a very interesting battle between these two players. See Maestro there with a 3-1 lead over #Harry in another game. What's currently going on in the Swiss format as well. Remind if you want to watch that, watch FIFAGlobalSeries.com. You can watch every single game. What's going on here in Bucharest, FUT Champions Cup number 2. But for Dossary, he's got to shake that one off quickly. Nicolas Razek, as I say, a little bit of fortune. Sometimes it has to favour you to beat a player like Dossary. Here's Garincha. Back heel here to Zidane. Garincha, great ball. Dossary, big save.
So close, and it's such a well-worked shot on goal as well for Eusebio. Sometimes when you play those through balls, you think the keeper's just going to come down and they're going to be able to grab it, but Eusebio was able to just get it a touch away from the goalkeeper. I don't think there was really much else you could have done. A ball roll probably would have been caught as well. I think probably would have been caught. Another pass probably would have been intercepted. So he did everything he could. And just the angle was too small because the goalkeeper was able to get so close to Eusebio. It's dangerous though from Dossary. Just needs one of those, another one of those. You probably feel like he's going to get back into this.
Nicolas Razek sitting so deep as you would expect at this point in the game. Around 10 minutes left. Just needs to win the ball back once or twice more. Garincha, that fake shot. Just allowed the defender to get into a position. Great ball here. Ball around the goalkeeper. And Dossary has ice in his veins.
That's what I'm calling composure. His previous attempt with Eusebio, he didn't have time to go for that ball roll. But he senses there was that extra second just to ball roll it away from the keeper. It's a difficult angle to put it away from, but as soon as you fool that keeper, they're lost. Dossary equalises. The game deserved an equaliser considering how Nicolas Razek got his lead, if I'm completely honest. So I'm glad that we're going to be heading towards extra time as it stands. But also, Dossary deserves a goal for that piece of magic. Okay, he was fortunate maybe to get the ball back after the initial tackle after Garincha missed that first little fake shot. But it was how he worked it forward, how he saw the through balls that were there, always thinking 1 or 2 steps ahead.
So Dossary again takes his chance when it comes. Tied up once again in the last few minutes here. And you can see Garincha, the ball roll didn't really take it away from the goalkeeper, but it allowed him to thread the ball through the goalkeeper's legs there. So the substitute comes up big for Dossary. "81 minutes on the clock when that goal went in. So 9 minutes left here for Nicolas Razek to maybe find a winner. Is there going to be a goal here to decide this game, or are we heading to extra time once more?
Joksan's now extended his lead to 3 goals against Pina, so it looks like we might be saying goodbye to a previous PlayStation champion back in FIFA 18 of Stefano Pina. And his first tournament of the year hasn't been one to remember. An update on Lost to the Waves. He's winning his 3rd game 2-1. Only 2 goals he scored, which is what's surprising me, against Gravesen. That'll be him sailing through to the knockout stages as well.
approaching that 90th minute here. Is there going to be a last gasp winner? Razek is the man with possession of the ball. Lax pass inside though by the fullback means that MsDossary can come forward. And look at this, he's got men striding forward as well. He tries to play that ball round to Kylian Mbappe, and Razek got a little bit fortunate there. There was a real opportunity for Dossary to come at him.
Yeah, if you can get the strikers in a foot race with Blanc, then they have a really good chance. But if Blanc has a couple of feet advantage, he's always going to win it. His positioning is so good in FIFA 20. Great at making those defensive runs and cutting those passing lanes. It looks like final chance might be Razek's here.
Yeah, into stoppage time here. Luckily, Ruud Gullit wins that ball, and it is going to be all tied up after regulation time here. Both these players at 2-0 in their Swiss record at the moment, and going into extra time, the opportunity to see yourself through to those knockouts. You can see how much it means to the two players. It's been a very interesting affair between the two.
A very tactical one. Certainly one that you know there's more going on behind the scenes in their thought processes between their formation changes, their substitutions. Small little things they'll change in game as to like which areas of the pitch they'll be prioritizing. Is there any weaknesses? Do I see him pushing up with his left back more than his right back? So much more that goes on, and that's why I appreciate having someone like Mike Labelle in the building who picks apart some of these plays and looks a little bit deeper when you're able to kind of pause it and take a look more in depth.
Mbappe and Carlos Alberto are having a real battle. As Kylian Mbappe is actually going to win the ball back in an advanced position here after that long ball over the top. So that battling might turn into an opportunity for Dossary to get that ball into the box. Eusebio, that ball is in the box now, and Pele decides to recycle back to Roberto Carlos.
He's kind of being forced to play it back at the moment by Nicolas Razek. Plenty of bodies behind the ball, but he's also pressuring well and switching to put his players in these real nuisance positions.
But here is that injection of pace now from Dossary. This is why he's so good. The ball falls back to him. And it's just that ability to put that foot on the gas from Dossary. He gets fortunate, yes, on the rebound. The goalkeeper makes the save, but that chance, the way it was created was so impressive.
A lot of people would argue that he deserved the goal from the position he was able to get in anyway, so the rebound is always entirely a possibility. But again, it's going to be difficult for Nicolas Razek because he's going to be feeling like, look, my keeper was in the right place. He should have made that save. But Dossary, I mean, the lead up to that goal and that final pass was absolute perfection. Just being able to see that ball and thread it through is why he is one of the best in the world. And, well, he finds himself ahead, which is something we haven't really seen too much throughout this series. It's all been Nicolas Razek really taking the initiative, going a goal up. Can Dossary hold on to this one now in extra time?
This is the interesting thing now, as you say, like this is the first time we've really seen Dossary with a lead in this tie, and Nicolas Razek is now the man who's going to have to make tactical changes. He's the one who's going to have to try and force the pace here, and it's funny how the game can just change so quickly and turn on its head. Nicolas Razek, in extra time, goes behind for the first time that we've seen in a long time.
Well, another game to update you on elsewhere. Currently, Mo Alba versus Yago. It's another 2-0 affair to get yourself into knockouts. That's 3-3. So neither player being able to secure their spot just yet. All these players at 2-0 will be desperate to try and make it 3, because then you can really take the pressure off yourselves and kind of enjoy the rest of your day, play your last couple of games just for seeding places, and relax knowing that you'll be back tomorrow to compete against the other best players in the world.
So Nicolas Razek, who for a lot of this game has felt comfortable, all of a sudden is very, very, very uncomfortable. A goal in extra time has just given the Dossary the chance to now play the game at his pace.
This is where Nicolas Razek might get a little bit of a taste of his own medicine, to be honest. We saw that when he had that lead, he did have a lot of men behind the ball. Dossary could very much do the same. But it looks like he's not happy with just a goal lead. Still pressing forward, still looking for more.
I like this from Dossary. We can find another one here. I'm not sure that Nicolas Razek's going to have enough to find opportunities to tie the game up, let alone bring it back to win within 1 goal. And Dossary now smartly going to go all the way back to Garincha, who's hanging back here.
Well, he wanted to go to the edge of the box to Eusebio, but actually Nicolas Razek did really well to cut it off and ensure that there wasn't an easy pass for him. So good spot by Razek. It is a very common thing to do from corners, of course, to play it on the edge. Maybe Razek has something on the counter-attack here. Oh, Blanc, though.
Crunching tackle there from Laurent Blanc, and the half-time whistle goes here in extra time. And Dossary has the lead. You can see really has dominated the chance creation in this second leg. Nicolas Razek now, you can see he's obviously made those changes. You can see it just in that little glimpse that we had after that Dossary goal. Having 1 possession back, the more players were flowing forward. But see Dossary again, listening to his coach, having a conversation with Lev about how to see this game out. He's done well to find his way back into this game, let alone find a lead.
I think Nicolas Razek, at this point, needs to just go to like a 3-5-2 or something like that. Just absolutely throw everything.
You've only got 15 minutes left in game here.
I know that he probably feels like he's been creating enough chances, he's been playing well, and he can go for the same formation, but I think you leave yourself vulnerable. You go for that all-out attack now. Otherwise, you might regret it a little bit later in the tournament when you potentially could be losing out here on a better seed, or who knows, maybe you don't even get out of Swiss.
Well, Dossary is now attacking that space in behind that's being left by Nicolas Razek. Van Dijk wins the ball back, though. And now you can see players forward here for Nicolas Razek. You just have to wonder how many opportunities and how much time is left for him to create opportunities in this game. Is it enough to carve out 1 clear chance, or do you just try and force the pace? You try and just find as many as you can going forward, not taking into account how clear-cut those chances might be, just testing the goalkeeper. Here is Razek, little back heel into Neymar. Across here to Vieira. It's beautiful from Razek! And again, we're tied up. 4-4 now on aggregate. Lionel Messi with the equaliser.
What a goal that is as well. Just under the legs, cheeky little pass. Is that Patrick Vieira doing that as well? Incredible, really. And then Messi should never really miss from those areas. And, well, we saw Dossary in a penalty shootout in his opening games when he drew 4-4 with the South African Kalen. Won that one on penalties. So he has had a shootout, and he does have one under his belt already. But we know that Nicolas Razek beat Tex on penalties in his prior game as well.
Just always been within 1 chance, within 1 goal this game.
Paddy V.
Patrick Vieira with a little fancy pass. Lionel Messi in acres of space, and it wasn't the left foot, it was the right foot, but from that angle, he's never going to miss. Is there another twist in the tail here? As Dossary will have the ball from kickoff.
And there is that in-form Messi, putting it as the red foot item as well, just to rub salt in the wounds a little bit more. I'm sure there's plenty of people at home who were able to secure themselves at the red item of Messi.
Razek's won the ball back here. You can see, I like Dossary was trying to commit forward there. Trying to force the pace, trying to find a winner before time expires here. And there's lots of players forward. Again, look at this far side here. Garincha has a chance to get in behind. Can Dossary find his way back into a lead right at the death here in extra time? Pressure from Razek, trying to win the ball back. Space here for Pele. Acres of space! And Dossary again has taken the lead here at the death. But how has he left that much space?
I'm wondering whether that was an offside trap played by Nicolas Razek.
I think it was.
Because, honestly, Pele got the ball, and I think Dossary went, hold on a second, I could just turn. I don't have to do anything fancy here. If I take my time, if I'm calm, this is a goal and probably a victory. Maybe it was panic stations for Nicolas Razek, and he just smashed that offside trap by hitting that D-pad. Or maybe it was just the perfect through ball with Pele making the run. I'll have to see the replay to get a better indication.
Maybe that's one for Mike Lebel to be breaking down on the touchscreen after this game is done and dusted. But again, it's still just a 1-goal lead here. And if we know anything about this game, Nicolas Razek has the opportunity potentially with just a few moments left on the clock to find an equaliser and send it to the penalty spot. But the ability of Dossary to stay in this game and the composure when those chances have fallen to him is why he is one of the best in the world.
It's very difficult when you're given that much time in front of goal as well to actually pick and choose where you want to put the ball, and being successful is always
that's
difficult.
unfortunate there for Nicolas Razek.
The man's held up and he can't play the pass that he wanted to. And I don't think he'll get the ball back here.
Dossary with the chance to finish this off, but he's smarter than that. This isn't his first rodeo. He's all the way back to the goalkeeper. Yashin's going to take a few more seconds. He's going to send it forward, and what a game it was.